Hi, it's Sarah. I wanted to do a monthly update for both the newsletter and YouTube subscribers to let you know what's been going on with writing and publishing books. We're coming off of Halloween in my life. Still, you can still see my unicorn for Halloween, the skeletal stuff, the skull and the skeleton, and my Dia de los Muertos stuff. But we're halfway through NaNoWriMo. At least we are while I'm recording this. You probably won't see it until well after the halfway point because I've got things planned. But I wanted to cover three things that I have written down for you to know what's been going on. We're going to start with NaNoWriMo, then we'll talk a bit about Sweeten Up Ginny Darcy, and then what's going on with plans for the series. NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, the month where I write the first draft of any book I'm working on, be it this pen name or my horror and fantasy pen name, SR Marks. And if you're interested in that, there's links to information about that in the comments of the YouTube or the description of the YouTube video. As many of you know, I had a hysterectomy in September, and I spent a month in recovery. Between the narcotics and the edibles, I was checked out for a nice chunk of that. And I then tried to do a Kickstarter for a fantasy book, and that didn't work out the way I thought it would. But it was a really good learning experience and helped me get a sense of where my energy is. So here I am, and I'm writing right now the book Citation Needed, which will be book 7 in the 21st Century Austen series, the second to last novel. There might be one more book after that, but it might be a collection of stories focused more on the second half of the series. But we're not there yet. I'm just trying to write Citation Needed. I have this interesting writing process that doesn't really align with a lot of what people do normally. A lot of people like to meet a daily writing goal. I'm not that person, especially right now. Normally, I put so much of my time and energy into work during the week that I come home and I'm just tired and I want to relax and I want to recharge. Post-recovery, it's been very different. I quickly realized when I started going back to work in October that aside from the days where I get to work at home and my energy levels are much easier to manage, when I leave the house during the day, I get about 4 hours of energy before I hit a wall and I'm just utterly exhausted. And it literally feels like I hit a wall. One moment I'm bouncy and energized, and the next moment I'm done. I feel it in every fiber of my body. And it looks like it too. When people see me, they can tell I'm already done. And most of the time I have enough energy to wrap up what I'm doing and drive home. But once I'm home, that's it. I'm done. I have the energy to maybe make dinner, and usually it's to order dinner and sit on the couch and walk the dog, and that's it. So I've been saving my writing time for weekends, Friday nights because I work remotely on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday because that's my weekend. And I've always found it easier to write in big chunks of time rather than what the program suggests. National Novel Writing Month suggests you break up into about 1,600 words a day, a little more than that, but that's about average. That works for so many people. And if that works for you, that is perfect, because writing is about how you write best. But what I have found over the years is that I can't stop and start like that. I need to give a lot of time to the writing, generally about 3 to 4 hours a day, which makes a lot of this easier on weekends when I want to write and have 3 to 4 hours of energy, sometimes a little more if it's been a good and light week. So tonight, I will probably sit on the couch with my tablet and write as much as I can. And I'll probably get in about 3,000 to 4,000 words. In 20 minutes, I can write about 700 to 800. I'm pretty decent pace-wise, especially when I know where I'm going. And for me, the first draft, the draft I'm writing now, it's Sarah's draft. I'm telling myself the story. So it's really easy to just jump around. And it's been very helpful this time to block my time out that way. I've been doing sprints. I've been at my little writing studio, sometimes with Rona, sometimes alone. If you know Rona, she writes as Elena Markham. That's her pen name for contemporary romance. There's heat. Don't just run off to her. I know some of you don't like high heat or any heat. Just beware. But she writes modernized fairy tales, and I will be showcasing some of her books over the next few months. It's worked this year, but I know this is going to slow down a lot of other things. That I typically only write drafts and edit 3 to 4 times a year. I don't spend my year writing because I have this full-time job. There's a lot of what other tasks have to get done. And this isn't even considering the promotional tasks, dealing with ads, doing these newsletters, having fun with videos, making the audiobooks. So yeah. But Citation Needed, the actual book I'm writing, is a modernization of Persuasion. That's number 2. And if you've read Modern Persuasion, which we'll get to that, but if you've read Modern Persuasion, you've met our lead, Penny. She is a wheelchair user. She is disabled and is an advocate for accessibility. She was a minor character in Modern Persuasion, but she did help push Emma and Frederick together in her own way. And this time it's her story. But we're dealing with a gender swap. She's our Wentworth, not our Anne Elliot. Our Anne Elliot is Mason, and he is a professor at the university where Penny and he got their PhDs. So part of the story is them falling in love while being graduate students, and how he was persuaded to end his relationship engagement with her, and her reaction to it, and how she ended up in Cape Cod, the last place you'd think somebody might want to end up when they're an advocate for something, unless the advocacy is for Cape Cod. But how does a accessibility and ADA compliance advocate and employee of companies doing that work end up on Cape Cod alone in a wheelchair? This is part of that story. And no, she is not an able-bodied person at the beginning of their journey. She is already in her wheelchair, but I need help. I'm not a wheelchair user. I am, as far as I can tell, able-bodied, in that I don't think I have any visual impairments other than needing glasses, visual, auditory, mobility. I am able. So me writing this story requires a lot of help, and I am very open to it. So if you or someone you know is a wheelchair user, I have 3 things I need help with. 1, I need to hear stories. I need to know what people's lives are really like. I can make observations from the people I know around me, but what does that mean? How are their homes laid out to make sure they can grab the things they need to grab to eat a meal? How do they cook if they are lower than their stove? How do they deal with, in New England, we don't have a flat sidewalk because we're incapable of keeping things level. So how would they manage that? How do they have relationships with people who are able-bodied that might not see them? I have questions of my own, things that relate to the plot that I need to have an authentic idea of what's actually going to happen. Things I think might be authentic, I need somebody to confirm that, or to correct that, or to dial it back. And I'd really love to have what are called sensitivity readers. These are people who will read the finished manuscript, or in this case, probably before it goes to the editor, who will then work on the actual story itself, who will tell me if I'm being true to their experience. And I recognize that everybody has a different experience in the world, regardless of your abilities and disabilities. But am I totally off base? Is the book wrong? Is Penny's experience something no wheelchair user is going to say, yes, this is realistic? And I'm looking for about 3 to 4 people to help with this. What will they get in exchange? They'll get copies of the book. They'll get copies, paperback copies of the final book with an autograph. It will probably be dedicated to them, because this is not just a quick edit. This is sharing themselves. with somebody who doesn't know them. So if you or someone you know, and pass this on, I will probably do a couple of call outs for this kind of opportunity. Hopefully someone will be interested. Hopefully 3 to 4 people will be interested. So let me know either in the comments, message me. Links to my email address will be in the comments so that you can directly, or in the description, so you can directly contact me. The next book is Sweeten Up Ginny Darcy. This is the Pride and Prejudice gender swap set around a candy store, and we're following Ginny Darcy, Will Darcy's sister from Pride, Prejudice, and Pledging. And if you want to get to know her a bit, she was the Miss Darcy from that, and now she is our Mr. Darcy. She doesn't know it until it's sort of slapping her in the face, but not literally. This is probably going to be ready to go in the early summer. Again, this is going to be a Kickstarter. There is a good chance, but it's not confirmed yet, that the next 3 books and the short story collection that I'm looking at, that's Sweeten Up Ginny Darcy, Citation Needed, the last book in the series that I'm still calling Tilney's Haunted Farm, which is Northanger Abbey's final modernization, and then the possible short story collection. They will all be released through Kickstarters once a year. Why? It's an experiment. We're far enough in the series that you can read the first 5 right from Amazon and Kindle Unlimited, or you can buy the paperback, or you can buy the ebook. So it's not so critical that this get in front of readers right away. These are the last 3 books. There's some swag I want to get out there, and I'm planning to release one of these a year and then drop the last 4 on Amazon within just a month of each other, sort of a rapid drop, still only promoted to sort of internal groups. We'll do a big promotion of Modern Persuasion and Pride and Prejudice and Pledging around the time each of them is slated to do something like the Kickstarter campaign. The first details of the Kickstarter campaign are going to come out next month. There are going to be some opportunities for you to give feedback, for you to suggest add-ons. What are we doing a Kickstarter for? Not just the release of Sweeten Up Ginny Darcy, but we're going to do 4 expanded volumes. A lot of people don't know about the A Little More series, which is the short story companion books to each of the first 4 novels. I'm going to put them all in one volume. You're going to get all those bonus stories in one. Bam. You're going to be able to hear the audiobooks for those stories in the next few months, one by one. Once a month, they'll be out. But you'll be able to read them all together. The expanded epilogues, the prequel stories, everything, right in one volume. There will not necessarily be new book covers. That might not happen till the very end. But this is the one we're thinking of now. So prepare yourself for the possibility of not being able to just get on Amazon and read those books. You'll have to get them this way for a couple of years. What are the plans for the rest of the series in light of that? Modern Persuasion is going to be either 99 cents or perma-free. I will be giving that one away to engage more readers. So if you haven't read it yet and you want a copy to leave a review for me, primarily on Amazon or Goodreads, I would appreciate it. It's been newly edited. It's a little expanded from the very first version of it, so getting a lot of good new reviews up is critical. I will give you a copy of the ebook if you want it, so you can leave the reviews. And when you're done, if you want another one, we'll give you another one from a different title. Pride, Prejudice, and Pledging, Love and War in Woodhouse Hall, Love from Northanger Park's Katie, Unraveling Carrie Woodhouse. If you want to get all 5 books for free and you're willing to leave a review, I'm happy to do that. That's how much I need this series to get a little more promotion. There is a plan to edit the other first Pride, Prejudice, and Pledging, Love and War in Woodhouse Hall, and Love from Northanger Parks, Katie, are all going to be edited over the next few months. So they will have updated editions to go with it. So if you want to sort of wait for that one, Pride, Prejudice, and Pledging is coming next. That might take a little longer. I have to decide if we're sticking with third person for that narration or if we switch it to first. So that's it for this month. Next month, we'll talk about how I did on Citation Needed and if I even finished it, because there's a chance I won't. I might hit 50,000 words, but I might not finish the book right away. And then what the plans are for 2023 as far as books and publishing goes. I'll get a little more into Tilney's Haunted Farm and what I'm anticipating for that one. That's going to be slightly darker, but we're going back to the Northangers. Don't worry, we're going to create more of a theme park. So that's it. Have a great rest of your November. For Americans, happy Thanksgiving this week, and I'll see you in December.